Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I am going to be working in this new sketchbook, which is made by the lovely C Points, and as you will see a little bit shortly, basically, that I won't be doing the first page as I usually do. So as soon as I open up the front cover, you're gonna see that there's actually something on the front cover, like the first page basically, which is a commission done by C Points herself, which definitely wanted to make me use the sketchbook like almost right away. I'm a little bit nervous to use it because I really do adore this commission, so I don't want to ruin the sketchbook basically. So I'm doing my best to make sure to protect the front page as much as possible. But today we're going to be working on a few sketches. So as you can see on the screen, I have a few sketches of Wonu, and I've been just really liking using graphite recently. So just because if you haven't noticed on my previous community posts, I usually like using graphite on smoother paper, and the sketchbook that is made by C Points is similar to previous sketchbooks that I had from Ipao, Lana J, and Mendy Star one. So because of that, I'm very familiar with the paper and like the mediums I could use. I think when I was shortly showing you guys, or not shortly, briefly showing you guys the sketches, like the sketches of Wonu, you sort of saw, I think, Ignatz on the left side of that, and marker doodles will definitely be some future videos for you guys where I will be using markers again, which I used to do a while back until I started using the Arteza sketchbook, which the markers just seemed like they were very dry and the texture was just not as nice or ideal. So that's something you guys can look forward to if you guys prefer my marker doodles, which I know a lot of you do, but hopefully you guys will be okay just watching me draw with graphite. So similarly to the Wonu sketches were done because I just wanted to draw his look from the recent Going 17 episode. And for these sketches, I just picked a few members. You would have saw me show my iPod briefly, and I took a few screenshots of little moments of the episode, and yeah, decided to draw a few of the members from the screenshots that I took. So the first one, as you can see, is Hoshi. It doesn't really look like Hoshi. I definitely messed up his eyes, but it was still fun to do, and I think the shading on the cape was fun. I'm not sure how many clips I did that actually had some real-time sketching. I had a hard time finding good angles to slow down because my hand tends to be in the way of the camera if it's like an overview shot of my sketching process. So the second sketch that I'm doing, I am drawing Mingyu. And then after that, I believe I started to draw Mingyu again in profile, along with Chani or Dino, kind of like clinging to his side. And then after that was Jonghan, and then I finished off the spread with, I think, just Dogyam. And then I filled up the excess space with a little bit of text because I had enough room for something to be in the space, but I didn't have enough room to actually draw a figure that didn't look super out of place. If you've seen any of my previous like sketching videos, this is kind of my favorite method of doing spreads, which is just you start on one side of the page and you start just sketching. So at this point I'm sketching with references, but like translating it into my style, and then you just slowly move across the page, alternating between, not exactly alternating, but like switching it up. So like maybe you do a few headshots, and then maybe you do a full body or like a waist up or like a close up. Like you just switch it up. It makes the spread a little bit more fun to mix and match different intensities of the sketches. Not exactly intensities, maybe that's not a good term to use, because I rendered them basically all the same, so there's not like super big amount of contrast between the like all 5 sketches. Yeah, 5 sketches, but this is something you guys can keep in mind if you're wanting to doodle for fun, but you want to make your spread just a little bit more fun to look at. You can definitely just alternate between maybe headshots or waist up, full bodies, close-ups of like maybe their accessories or something of their facial features. It's something you can do. But yeah, so I'm just gonna finish up doing Chani, and definitely drawing two people interacting is not my strong suit. I did do my best to more or less, because Mingyu was in the front and I knew I wouldn't have to change like anything of him, I mostly did Mingyu first, and then once I got his rough sketch done, I roughly sketched in Channy, which is really unfortunate that he's like right on the seam. I was hoping to get his face more on the right side, but it's definitely kind of covered, like severed his face in half on the, I guess like in half as in like it follows almost like the bridge of his nose down to like the center of his chin. And then yeah, not too much to talk about. Jonghan was very fun to draw. Same with Dogyam. They're both very fun to draw, very fun expressions. Jonghan's just has like a very cute expression. Sukmin has more of a shocked, confused expression that's very like subtle. But yeah, the last thing I'm going to talk about before I might just render the rest of this video with just music is that initially I was going to film the first spread of the sketchbook instead of the first page, but because I was filming at night, the lighting wasn't very good, but also how to explain this? My webcam decided to not exactly record when I hit record. Like I would hit record and it would tell me it was recording, but I didn't notice like the timer wasn't being set or anything. Like it didn't show me the amount of time that was being recorded as it usually would, and because of that I didn't notice that my camera actually wasn't recording, so I missed like 70% of the whole spread of not being like sketched or colored or lined. And this was like a marker doodling session type thing where I do pencil sketch, markers like my Crayola super tips on top, and then I do line work with a needlepoint pen. But because of that I did have to scrap that video, but because I did have some fun making that spread, I will include a little bit of footage at the end. So after I finish this whole spread of just pencil doodles, there will be maybe, is it like 3 to 4 minutes, maybe 3 minutes of footage that I could salvage from the marker doodle session, and you guys can watch me just, I think I do a little bit of coloring, but I think most of it's line work for the most part, but a big chunk of it's gone. So like if it doesn't make sense, that's the reason why. I'm just gonna leave it in just kind of as a treat, or in memory of what would have been the first sketchbook spread video. But I guess this whole video will replace that, along with replacing the first page of my sketchbook, which I usually like to do, but because of C Point's commission I am not doing that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy watching the rest of the video with music, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!